Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer talk show. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, help us continue to grow. The support has been amazing the last few weeks since we've been doing these daily shows, and also obviously our usual shows. The growth on the channel has been mad, so please do continue to support us, like, subscribe, and get your comments in. I'm still absolutely fuming after that terrible performance, that embarrassing performance that we put in against Wolves earlier tonight. And but I needed to jump on and do our transfer talk shows up until the deadline day special show. And more news coming out of Villa. Looks like the Rashford deal is done. We've heard more now around the kind of structure of it, the loan fee, and we're paying the majority of his wages. And there has been an option to buy clause put in there of around about £45 million if it all goes well. So in terms of the majority of the wages, I don't know exactly how much. I think he's on 325,000 a week, which is crazy. But if you say we're going to pay 51%, I think it's about 167,000 or something a week that we'd be putting in. So in terms of a 6-month deal, it's about £4 million. So not too bad when you think of it that way. But look, he's got to do the business. And now Ollie Watkins potentially injured, we really need some options up front. We really need something like that. I'm still not sure about Marcus Rashford. Yes, he could have a fresh start. Yes, Unai Emery likes to see what he can do with kind of rough diamonds or players that have kind of lost their way. But for me, it's just smacks a little bit of desperation. And if we'd have got all of our targets, if everything had happened how we wanted it in the summer, if everything hadn't been put to the last minute in this window, would we have been going for someone like Marcus Rashford? I don't know if we would have done. But look, if he comes and he gets the Villa shirt on and he passes medical, everything like that, and he's playing for us, we will of course support him. And if we can get anything like a tune out of him, he will be great. He's obviously got ability. He can score goals. He's unplayable at times, and he could fire us to some sort of consistency. We need to score more goals. We need to look more threatening. We need a threat in behind, and he could provide that. So, look, this is going to probably be announced tomorrow, Sunday, and we'll see where we go from there. Tonight, though, we did hear of Leon Bailey. This is separate to the Rashford deal. Leon Bailey interesting Man United as one of their attacking options, along with an Aston Villa target of Matisse Tell, who we're still in talks with potentially about bringing in. So that would be interesting as well if we brought Rashford in and Tell, and Bailey went to Manchester United. Now, Leon Bailey, I love Leon Bailey. He's one of my favourite players. I've backed him up on this podcast, but this season he has made it increasingly difficult. And for whatever reason, he just cannot get going this season. He seems to have lost a yard of pace. He seems to be doubled up on. He doesn't seem to have that zip about his game. He doesn't seem to make the right decisions at times. And there's just no end product with him. He's not going down the outside enough in terms of using his right foot. He's not fronting up his defender enough and jinking inside. And then every time he jinks inside, that touch inside is poor and he can't get the shot off. And then he allows someone else to come in for him. He's too casual when he's passing it off. He's not passing and then moving for the 1-2. Just there's nothing threatening about Leon Bailey at the moment. And tonight kind of summed it up. 1 or 2 really good moments, really good passes, and then 3 or 4 opportunities to cross the ball and he slips over, or he makes the wrong decision, or he gets pushed off the ball. And he's just becoming far too infuriating for Villa fans. And if he's your attacking option, particularly away from home, but also increasingly at home, he's not giving us any sort of attacking output. So maybe he needs a fresh start. Maybe he needs to move on. And whether it again would be a loan with an obligation to buy or an option to buy, and we kind of do a swap with Rashford and Bailey, see if either club can get a tune out of them again. Because 23-24 Leon Bailey was absolutely fantastic. And people talk about the Moussa Diaby situation, and maybe it is more to do with Moussa Diaby not being part of Aston Villa anymore. Maybe he took players away from Leon Bailey and gave him the space. Maybe he put pressure on him in terms of competition. Maybe the fact that Bailey could be rested at times and come off the bench at the moment. We just keep playing him and playing him and playing him. Yes, he was on the bench today, but generally we've played him and played him and played him, and he just hasn't found any form. So This is going to be an interesting one with Leon Bailey. Does that kind of have legs in it? Is that a deal that could get done by Monday? I'm pretty sure his dad and his dad, his agent, and Leon would certainly jump at the idea to sign for someone like Manchester United. So I don't think there'd be any issue there. And, Aston Villa, I'm sure, would be entertaining that potential option for him to move there. Now, I did briefly mention Matisse Tel. Villa still kind of in negotiations or talks ongoing with him. He turned down Tottenham. It looks probably like he's going to stay at Bayern Munich, but there could be something in that. Potentially, we could do something. But again, it's so desperate. We're just throwing names. It sounds like we're just throwing names at a board. It sounds like Monchi's just constantly ringing up agents saying, "Oh, can we have this player? Can we have this player? What about this player? What about that player?" And there's just no consistency with it. We need defenders. We need centre backs. Kevin Danso is going to Tottenham. Axel Disasi has gone quiet, but even he would be a third, fourth, fifth choice option on loan. We really, really need centre backs. Where are we going to get these centre backs from? Tamori apparently isn't wanting to leave AC Milan. He's already turned down Tottenham. So where are we going to get these centre backs from? It is just desperation stakes at the minute, because Kamara and Conte, yes, they could cope against Celtic, but they were massively, massively exposed today against Wolves and got totally bullied. And Wolves didn't really have a proper striker up front. So that tells you everything you need to know. So we have to get a defender in very, very, very quickly. The Marco Asensio deal, again, looks like that's been agreed on a loan. I don't know what the loan fee is or the wages, but it looks like he wants to come to Villa. So that would probably put paid to Tel. That would probably be Asensio and Rashford, and then hopefully get a defender in. And I'm again, I don't know how much I think of this deal. I don't know. Maybe it's something that can give us a little bit of inspiration. Maybe it's someone who can give us a bit of creativity. Maybe take a bit of pressure off Morgan Rogers, because Morgan Rogers is either phenomenal like he was on Wednesday against Celtic, or he's anonymous and doesn't look like he's played football before like he did today against Wolves. Just so poor in terms of decision making. And yes, he's fatigued. Yes, he's tired, but it's times like that where you just need to get the basics right and just get your passing right and just concentrate on just doing the simple things. But he couldn't do that tonight. And maybe we just need to take the pressure off him. And finally, there was another player we've been linked with, a striker called Evan Guessand of Nice. I don't know anything too much about this player. Has been on loan at Nantes through 2022-2023, scored 3 goals in 30 games. Also played for Lausanne, scored 7 goals in 34 games, and signed for Nice in 2018, played for their B team between 2018 and 2020, scoring 9 goals in 25. And then from Nice, apart from those loans, since 2020, scoring 16 in 74. Played for French right through under 16s up to under 19s, and then switched to, played for his birth country of Ivory Coast, and has had 1 cap now. He was born in France, but can play for France or the Ivory Coast. So chose to play for Ivory Coast, got a full cap, and has now played 1 game. Now, if we look at his SOFA score, he's 23 years of age, so potentially comes in as a player who could come on as being an understudy, I suppose, to an Ollie Watkins and learn his trade, come into the Premier League after doing well in the French league, and would understand that that's what his role is for the next year or two, and to put pressure on in that sense. So that wouldn't be a bad thing. Positioning and high pressing. So that's something that Unai Emery likes in terms of his strikers. He wants them to press. If we look at his kind of heat map, predominantly on that right-hand side, coming into the box, but all across the pitch as well. 19 games, 19 starts, scored 9 goals already this season, so not a bad record at all. Missed 6 big chances, but the key thing is here, scored with both feet and his head, so 5 with the right foot, 2 with the left foot, and 2 headed goals, 5 assists and 8 big chances created. So a similar player, I would say, to Ollie Watkins, looking at those statistics. Yes, he scores goals. Yes, he's missed chances, but he creates chances and makes assists, and he works hard up front. So this could be a perfect kind of foil for Ollie Watkins if he comes off or if he can't play certain games, because we knew that John Duran had those moments of magic. He had those brilliant moments, but he didn't do the other fundamentals that well that Ollie Watkins did. And Unai tried to tell him and teach him that he needed to do that, but ultimately it wasn't part of his nature and wasn't part of his game. 89% passing in his own half, 71 in the opposition half, and ball recoveries at 3.4. And in terms of his duels, high 40%. So pretty good for a striker. So a very, very hard working player. And at 23, someone who would come in and has probably got potential. Yes, I'd imagine they'd be pretty erratic, pretty raw, but someone who could, I guess, you could teach and learn the ways to play in the Premier League. So that's probably an interesting one to watch. Whether that happens in January, I don't know. That might be more towards the summer and to see where we're at financially. But yeah, that could be a good one as well. But for me, I think Rashford is obviously done. Medical tomorrow. Asensio, I think that will get done on Monday in terms of a loan deal. Bailey to Manchester United. Watch out for that one. And then we have to get a defender. We've missed Kevin Danso. Axel Disasi, who knows on that one? Chelsea probably waiting to see what happens. And then any other player, Tomori, would we go in late for him? I haven't heard any other names mentioned. In terms of outgoings or changes, Illing Jr. has been recalled from Bologna. He's now going to go to Middlesbrough. So that's an interesting one for him to see how he does in the Championship. I'm kind of semi-surprised that we haven't recalled him, to be honest, but that's another one. And then Sil Swinkles looks like he's going out to Bristol Rovers, although at the minute he could be playing at centre-back for us. So yeah, watch this space on all of that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. Help us continue to grow on the road to 6K, ultimately to try and hit that 10K. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with more shows this week, talking tactics, deadline day special, fans forum. We're here. Thank you all for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa.